Lost and Found is the 8th episode of the 3rd season of the Doris Day show, and this is a really enjoyable episode with a really great performance from Doris Day. Not that her performances aren't usually great, but there's one moment in particular that I rather enjoyed. This is a very Myrna-heavy episode, which I love because I love Myrna. I think Rosemary gives a brilliant performance with the character. And in this one, Myrna is supposed to be writing an article for Ron Harvey, and she's kind of procrastinating. She's been putting it off, so Doris decides to go to Myrna's flat the next day and help her with it. And we get to see Myrna's apartment, and that's really great. And it's a really nice space, and it works really well. It turns out Myrna had actually finished the article already, and she goes to retrieve it and show Doris, and it's not there. And they have to retrace her steps to try and work out where it is. And she thinks she left it at the club. So they decide to go, and interesting things happen. And I'll discuss with a spoiler warning in a moment what happens with that. There are some really great moments. And I enjoyed seeing Myrna's home and spending more time with Myrna and this mystery of whether or not they were going to get this article back in time. I had a lot of fun with, and I thought it was very well done. The pacing was great for the most part. It was a little slow to begin with. I wasn't sure exactly where they were going with it. But once it got going and we realised that there was this mystery with where the article had gone and if they'd be able to find it, once it got going, I really got into it and I had a lot of fun with it. And Doris, as I said, gave a great performance, which I'll pinpoint in a moment. And I really had a lot of fun with this episode. Definitely a really great story. So some spoilers now as I go into a little bit of detail of a few specific things that I really enjoyed. And the first specific thing that I want to mention is when Doris tells Mr. Harvey all of these excuses for why there's a delay with the article. And when Mr. Harvey comes off of the phone, he then relays all of this information to Mr. Nicholson. And just the delivery of those lines I just thought was absolutely perfect. The other thing that's worth mentioning, and the thing that I absolutely loved, although the pacing wasn't great, so I realise I might be contradicting myself here, but it's when Doris performs as Peanut Brittle. It's so funny. The only way they're getting into this club, because it's out of hours, is to audition as dancers, as go-go dancers, which is currently happening when they go down there. So Doris auditions as a character she decides is named Peanut Brittle, and they keep calling her Peanut, and it's absolutely adorable. And she does this dance, and the performance is so funny, but it does go on for way longer than it needed to. They definitely could have cut that down by half of the time and kept the pace going a little bit more steady. But it was still a really funny, very entertaining performance, and the character of Peanut Brittle is unlike any character Doris has ever played before, so that part of it I just thought was so well done. And Myrna's facial expression when she sees Doris dancing was just absolutely brilliant, and then having them rummaging in the trash to try and find it, it was so well done, and I thought it was a really brilliant episode. So a few pacing issues, but in general, it was really fantastic. A lot of fun. A lot of Myrna as well. I love Myrna. And Doris gave a fantastic performance as well. So, all things considered, I have to say this was a brilliant episode. Lost and Found was really entertaining with some great performances, very well written, great delivery of lines. I absolutely loved it.